Happy New Year to all you lovely Leos. Let's have a look at your Astrology and Tarot for 2023. So we're going to start with Jupiter. We're going to be covering the outer planets as we're looking at the whole year. So Jupiter is currently sitting in your ninth sector. It went into your ninth sector around the middle of December last year, and it's going to be sitting there until the 17th of May. Jupiter is really happy in this position because the ninth sector is ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so it really enhances all the qualities of that ninth sector, which is travel, wanting to expand, gain knowledge. Sometimes it's looking at studies, philosophy, and it's when you're wanting to gain a higher understanding of things. But with Jupiter in that ninth sector, the expansion, the growth, the learning, generally it relates to the outside world. So like I said, could be a time when Leo wants to do some travel or expansion of the mind and understanding of how the world works. When Jupiter moves into your 10th sector on the 17th of May, this is going to be really fantastic for those that are really career orientated, or those that are just really wanting to move ahead. They have certain projects or goals they're wanting to achieve. The 10th sector relates to Capricorn, and it's about wanting to climb to the top of the mountain and reach your ultimate goal. So with Jupiter there, Jupiter is the planet of luck, of good positive luck. It's very positive, beneficial planet, and anything that it connects with, it really generally shines on that and brings in a lot of positive energy and expansion. So it really is what I call the success planet. So with it there in your place of ideals and not so much your wishes, but more so your direct focus of what you're wanting to achieve, Jupiter's going to be really shining a positive light on this. It's going to be, with the combinations to Jupiter, it's going to be really relevant when it goes into May, when Jupiter goes into Taurus in May, into your 10th. We have a combination going on with Jupiter square Pluto. Now, with Pluto adding to Jupiter, it really adds to the potential for success, but also recognition in certain fields. It's when you can really start to feel like you're going to start to get somewhere. Now, you've had Pluto sitting in your sixth sector for quite a while, because Pluto is one of the slowest moving planet. And it's with it being in your sixth sector, that's your sector of work. So it could feel like work has felt quite, I guess I want to say compounding, meaning that you could feel like you're under pressure with work with Pluto there, or you're feeling that you're striving towards a lot, but it just feels like you've got these odds going against you constantly in your areas of career and work. Once Jupiter makes a square to Pluto, it's going to be a big relief. It's going to really give you the break that you're waiting for when you're wanting to finally feel like you're moving forward, getting ahead, and starting to see the success in your endeavours. Around that same time, the node is conjuncting Jupiter. Now, when the node comes to conjunct Jupiter, this is very fortunate connections coming in to help us to move forward, to grow and to expand, to move us on to new things, new experiences, and new levels of understanding. With this squaring Pluto, it means that there's going to be quite strong fated and fortunate situations coming in relative to people that could be responsible for changing your direction or helping your success to grow a lot faster. So it's looking very positive with these combinations going on for Leo for this year. Especially with these Jupiter combinations and with Pluto squaring and sitting there for quite a while, and the Jupiter conjunct node in the 10th, this is such a fantastic time for you to really be able to really move forward with your plans and go, and even if you don't have that clear direction, it will come in and will say, look, this is the direction you can expand in. You'll be able to see it with much more clarity by that time. So we have Saturn, and Saturn is currently sitting in your 7th sector. It's been sitting there for a while, over a year now, And with that, that has Saturn has quite a serious energy about it. Where Jupiter is expansion, Saturn can sometimes be restriction or constricting. Saturn also is where we dedicate ourselves. It's where we can really apply ourselves in a arduous way, if you like, where we go, okay, there's a lot of work ahead for us, but we have the determination, because Saturn, relates to that 10th sector of wanting to reach our goals, but we understand the hard work that is needed to get to where we're going. Now, with it sitting there in your 7th, that's all around relationships. So sometimes that can be a time when we find it a little bit hard to with relationships where we're feeling like we're not connecting in the way we're wanting to, or our responsibilities are getting in the way of our time together. But Saturn is also a time with responsibilities there in the 7th, when you could be looking at commitment with relationships. You could be looking at, something that's going to be of more value and more long term, or people that have been feeling, they've been out of alignment with relationship, with partner, they just may feel that this is not going to work out for them, or they may be thinking this is going to, this relationship's just too hard. Now, by the 8th of March, Saturn moves out of that area, and like I said, would have been there for about a year and a half by the time it does this, and so it's going to give that whole relationship sector a break from the Saturn energy, which is a bit serious, and it means that you can, things around the relationship sector can lighten up a bit. As it moves into the 8th sector, and it will be, continuing on there for the rest of the year, that will be a time when you'll be really taking a stronger look at what you're wanting to let go of, what no longer serves you, and you'll be able to see quite clearly, what changes you're wanting to make in your life, anything you're wanting to release, anything you're wanting to let go of. These issues will be coming up as Saturn gets triggered during the year. So I'll also mention Venus is conjuncting Saturn on the 22nd of January. And so when I was talking about relationships and feeling, with relative to the loyalty issue or the, or even the separation issue, around the 22nd, don't be surprised if you're really feeling that quite strong, because you've got Venus conjunct Saturn sitting there in the 7th. And that's just giving you a double dose of that. But like I said, it's also a time when we can come into a new cycle for commitment and, and make decisions about, where we really want to place our energy. So Uranus is sitting in your 10th sector. Now that has been there for quite a while as well, because Uranus is even slower moving than Saturn. And it's in it's in the sign of Taurus at the moment, which is your 10th sector. Again, the 10th sector is all about that area of goals, direction, and what you're wanting to ultimately achieve. It's a placement of success. It's like when you feel like you've gone, you've reached to where you're wanting to really go. And with Uranus there, it's that's going to be being a bit stressful in a way, because Uranus is a bit unsettling in this place, because you may have decided there's a direction that you've wanted to go in, or placed out some goals for yourself, and then found unexpected circumstances have actually turned things around, and you've found you're going down a whole different track. So keeping on track has probably been quite hard with Uranus sitting there on the 10th. At the same time, Uranus is about the higher mind. It's about your intuition at a higher level, or the sudden recognition or sudden understanding. So sudden ideas, there could be if you're decided you are changing your career, you're changing your studies, you're changing the direction you're going in, it's going to be happen really quickly. But it's doesn't mean that's a bad thing, because there will be this realization of you understanding what's actually more right for you with Uranus there. So this would have been an experience over the last few years. So this isn't anything unusual for what you have been experiencing. But with Uranus here, it means that really your direction and focus and your success, and that can really come in unexpected ways. And even though it could have been a time of switching and changing, it's a time when you are going to feel, it's a time when things can just come in so quickly that you'll just feel very much more in alignment with those directions, because you'll mentally recognize it will come from you. Like I said, those sudden realizations of what you want to do. So again, it can come through your intuition. So like I said, Pluto's been sitting in the 6th, and of course that has been making things probably a bit stressful around your work placements, and feeling like you don't want to be under this position of control anymore. But once you have Jupiter there, you might find that you are more likely to be in a position of control. You are more likely to be the leader rather than feeling squashed by situations. So once Pluto starts to square the node by March, and like I said, for Leos, it's carrying on all the way to May, as things sitting there in your 10th as well. But once it's by March, fated connections are going to be very, very important. People that are meant to be in your life, it's going to be very obvious. People that are not meant to be in your life, or people that have just been, you've been feeling hindered by, if you like, they may start to move away more. And this could be, I'd say, well, this will be in the workplace for Leo, because of, again, with Pluto sitting there in that placement. So when it's exact, when the square's all year long, so there will be these momentarily feelings of this in the workplace, but with the node there, it's really going to start to shift things so that you can either make changes, decide where you want to be, even if you feel like you're being forced out of a situation slowly. This is meant to be. This is fated. It's there for a reason. And anyone in your face at that time, for good or bad sort of thing, and for what is seen as good or bad, is all for good, because it's actually pushing you forward in the direction that you're wanting to go. The node is also sitting in the 10th, and again, that's again just reinforcing that success is going to come through the help of others, or through connecting with others, or through communications with others. But you'd like to say it's not what you know, it's who you know, and people are going to be very responsible for growth in the future, for your growth, whether it's to do with your business, or whether it's to do with your career, or whether it's just to do with your ultimate goals, whether where you're wanting to live, or just how you're wanting to maybe change your life. But with the node sitting there, with the 10th house that I'm describing, this is, like I said, it's like I'm in my ultimate place that I want to be. And for everyone, that can be something completely different. So by June, the node starts to move into the 9th position, and again, the 9th is all about travel. It's all about extending your mind to the bigger world, and learning a lot more on a bigger scale of understanding. It's also about spiritual understanding in more of a knowledge way than an intuitive way. But by the time the node moves into your 9th position, this could most likely bring connections to do with people overseas more into your life. It also means that you may be traveling to connect up with others, during this time. Now that's going to cover a 18-month period. So from June for the next 18 months, you've still got another good dose of the 9th sector of travel coming in. So this is going to be, I'd say, a good 2 years of connecting up and travelling with those that you are wanting to connect with. And Uranus is, so what we've got going on for January, we've got Mercury retrograde at the moment. Now Mercury goes direct around the 17th, 18th of this month. We've got Mars, which is being retrograde as well. That's going direct a week later. And we've got Uranus also that has been retrograde, and that's going direct. And so with those three combinations, this is a time when these planets are going to be more obvious or more affected. So we've got Mercury, Mars and Uranus. So this can bring in sudden news, sudden unexpected information, or excitement coming through, but also means that there's news that we will want to take action on, and it's there's going to be a lot more clarity as we move to about the 22nd of January. And for Leo, this is going to be more effective again in your career, because again you have Uranus sitting there in the 10th house. So you could get some really exciting news even this month about new directions or new opportunities that can come about sort of out of the blue. So let's have a look at your tarot for this year. I should have shuffled these while I was looking at the astrology. It's all right. Yeah, really successful year for Leo, especially those that are hard, that are driven for success, those that have got a lot that they're wanting to achieve. It's a year to really achieve your dreams. Leo's the great manifester. Leo, you're ruled by the sun, and you're esoterically ruled by the sun. So, either way, you are a powerhouse. You're a very strong force, and what you visualize, what you put your energy into, you can manifest very quickly. We can all manifest, but that manifestation energy comes through the sun, and Leo's ruled by the sun. So like I said, you're double manifestors. So be aware of your thoughts and what you're wanting, writing things down, writing down a list of what you're wanting to achieve. It would be a great year to do that, a great time to do that right now over the next, Mercury's retrograde, and in preparation for the next 2 weeks before things start to move forward. And with all the planets, they'll all be moving forward until April. So this is going to be quite a strong forward-moving time for everyone. So what does the universe want Leo to know for 2023? Let's have a look. Okay, it's definitely a forward-moving year for Leo, where you will be moving out of situations where it has been stressful. So looking at these cards here, it's saying here, you've actually been in quite of a hard cycle where you've almost feel like you've had enough, you've had a guts full of something, and you wanting to throw the towel in, give it all up. But Leo's not a sign that gives up easily. And I think it's just that things have come to a bit of a crunch or a bit of a head in the recent past. So it's saying here with Leo that, this is going to be a year where you're going to fully recognize this creative potential within yourself, and fully recognize what you're wanting to manifest for your future. So not just the ability to manifest it, but it's what is it that I really want? Where do I want to be? Excuse me. Who do I want to be around? And what direction do I want to go in? Looks like all those questions are going to be very important to Leo during this year. So situations that have been ongoing and hard, especially at a psychological level, because it looks like you could be looking at, where you've been feeling like you've been stuck in a certain pattern, and you're really just wanting to let that all go. You're really just wanting to just clear it, and it feels like the situation could come to a head in a little bit of a stressful way, to allow you to move away from that merry-go-round, if you like, where you feel like you haven't been able to get ahead, or you've been going over the same issues again at a psychological way. So patterns, old patterns from the past. It's a great year for you to make changes, to be breaking patterns of the past, and to be moving on with much more clarity. So there will be decisions for Leo this year about moving, and this is a physical move as well. There might be, you might be moving property because situations have been unsettling, or they've been disruptive, or there's been disagreements with others, or it's sort of what Leo seems to have going on here seems to be relative to the energies of others, and it's feeling of there's been areas of conflict, just wanting to get away. Leo's too creative to be wasting time with people that are disharmonious. And, Leo is, like I said, the most powerful, manifestive, creative sign. It looks like a year where you're going to be connecting more into your intuition, but also into that power, and doing something your way more so. Gaining your taking your control back. And I guess with Pluto, because when I say Pluto, it's been sitting in your placement of work, it's sitting in the 6th sector, it's actually been also, that area is your daily routine. Some people's work is from home and they're doing it, and if you're not going out to work, it's going to be your home routine. So, it feels like just wanting more freedom, and freedom of expression, and freedom of understanding. And when I say understanding, wanting to connect more with those that you feel really get you, feel that are really more in alignment with you and really understand you. You don't want to be wasting your time trying to explain yourself to others. I'm just describing how Leo is feeling from these cards. I'm not saying this is what you should be doing. I'm just saying, this is how you're going to feel. I don't want to be in the situation of pressure, stress, or argument or conflict. And so if you've been wanting to make a change for a little while, you're going to see how you can actually do that. If you've been wanting to move out of where you are and move into somewhere that's going to be more suitable for you, if you've been unhappy in your work or your home environments, it's going to just come in with all this help. And I feel through communicating and through connecting with others. So there is a lot here to do with connecting up with others during this time that are going to be very, very helpful, and others who are going to be helpful for adding to your security or helping you to gain more security. So, for some Leos, there may be some decisions around property. Should we sell? Should we repurchase? Should we rebuild or do some renovations? There seems to be wanting to separate yourself from others and but moving more towards where you can really relate to people. So finding those like-minded connections. For any Leos, like I said, Leos are very, very creative, very ingenuitive, and they make great bosses. And for any that are looking at, working for themselves or doing more in that way, you're going to be doing that in a group way. So there could be a business situation, but when I say a group way, it feels like it wouldn't just be a business that would just be yours. It would be done with, one or two others that you are really in alignment with. This is going to be a time also for Leo where, like I said, you're looking for your spiritual family, if you like. This is wanting to connect with brothers and sisters, but this is also about, anyone can be your brother or sister. This is about your soul family. So there does seem to be some very good positive changes coming up through very important connections. And I want to say siblings, but I really feel we're talking about soul family. So it can be either. It can be, your physical family, or can be people that you feel really in alignment with, that you would call your sister or your brother. So something very fated and productive is coming in again through, when I say, you're going to get help with others and all that, it seems to be people that are very close to you. So that looks like it's going to be with ease. And so, you may even move because of family or because of connections in a positive way. Like I feel like you may move because in a negative way because of connections, because there could be, you're feeling it's just, because of irritations or because of conflicts, but you're also going to be moving into a positive direction through connections as well. So this is a new cycle here for Leo, a cycle where you can actually take more control in your workspace, where you can start to really plan and see what you're wanting to lay out for yourself. You can see your future more, and sow the seed, so to speak, for the future. As you see, this is the direction, this is where I want to go, this is where the expansion is. Now I've got to get in and do the work and get it all ready and sow the seeds for the results. So, it is a year for success, but it's also a year of preparing for that success, because I say it's a year for success, but you've got these combinations going on in your 10th sector for a period of time, for more than a year, and, you're going to have some, bigger picture situation, bigger goals than you had actually anticipated, that's going to come out of this. So looks really good, because this is, ultimately, Leos want to work, they want to be productive, they want to be doing, and but they just want to be left alone to be able to do that without any hassle, and to do it their way as well, which is really important for Leo. So, saying that this is how I see this is, you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to be able to make more decisions and take more control in that working space. So there could be getting sort of getting business and conversations about either business or property changes. Something here where you're signing documents, and this is setting your future up, but it's an agreement with others. So where it's been difficult, say in that partnership sector for Leo, it's actually going to come into much more ease, where you'll sort of feel like, oh, we're back on the same page, and we're both back, working more in alignment with each other. And I think that, if anything, relationships are going to get closer, and more cooperative effort going on here, and within working together. So, it could be a year for Leos to look at purchasing property. Could be a year for Leos to be looking at setting up business. But either way, I feel like there's going to be some really important documents that you'll be signing for your future. So I'm going to lay out some more cards, but just with it, what you've got covering you here, and I just want to go back to that, because I just think things have been it's like you've been under this pressure, and like I said, this pressure's been quite psychological. It's been, when I say psychological, it's been emotional pressure, but it's been pattern pressure. So someone's been pushing your buttons, someone's been triggering you, so to speak. And like I said, I just feel like you're going to be either clearing that, you're going to transform that, and it's so good to see that, because with the moon card, then you've got the tower with it. It's like, this is just what's been hanging, what's been the energy that's been around you. It's not, I don't feel like, well, it's not showing me here that you're going to have to experience any more of this. It's sort of saying that you are going to transform it, you're going to change it. This is a year when you will go, wow, I really changed that year at the level of what I emotionally took on, and what I emotionally, refused to take on, and the actions that I took, to move away from things that are actually clouding my energy or clouding my intuition. And that is when we worry about what's going on with somebody else, when, to be honest, that's their stuff, and it's really got nothing to do with you. So whatever they've projected onto you has absolutely had nothing to do with you. So this is why I feel, for Leo, that's quite an important lesson to learn, that this is your time to take control of your situations, and to not take on board other people's issues. Leave that with them and let them sort it out, because however they're behaving, however they're triggering you, however they're trying to conflict with you, this is not a reflection of you at all. This is what they are projecting onto you, and just project it back onto them and tell them to go sort it out. Which Leo, I'm sure, is very good at doing. So I'm just going to lay out another layer just to see where that tower was going, as far as, because like I said, with it covering you, there'll be moments when you just feel like, oh, it's going to break down. But I don't see it when I say a breakdown, as in you just feel like you're under so much pressure. But it's like you don't allow anything negative to happen. You just take the action. It's like it's just pushing you in a certain direction, and the direction it's pushing you in is for much better situations, for much more heart-connected situations, where you know, you'll find your heart chakra can really expand, and you can feel a lot more at peace, but also a lot happier, you know, on a whole. So this is confirming travel. Since I've done this as a second layout, it looks like travel could come in sort of unexpectedly, like trips could just come up where there haven't been like a long-term planned trip. It could be trips for work actually, because with work it looks like there's a lot of expansion and growth and a lot more freedom in the future in your work situation. So that looks excellent. And yes, a new step up and a new level for career. So with whatever you've been doing, you know, you could either step out and do something quite new, or you could continue on with what you're doing. And if you continue on and you're happy in that, you know, you're going to find that you really are going to start to get to your ultimate with that one. Really good news around your social connections, some form of celebration going on here to do with people. And again, I think this is about the travel and about the people that you can connect up and see, as I described earlier. So trips and groups with people, but again, this is about coming together with groups that you feel you have a common purpose with, that you have a particular area that you're wanting to, when I say this common purpose, it's like there's a wanting to make a difference, or it's to do with your values. And so when you're meeting in a common way, it's like you're wanting to achieve the same goals, of course, but you're wanting to help humanity in some ways is what I'm trying to say here, but it's like it's done in a team way. So there's a lot that can be done for those that are wanting to use their beautiful Leo energy to shine a light on situations for people. It looks like there's lots of opportunities here to really help others, and Leo is always there giving others a helping hand. If anyone's in need, you can guarantee a Leo is going to be there to help. And this, I feel like, is taking things to another level where you can help, but help in a bigger way, and help in a way where we've got a whole team effort going on. Anyone who works within teams or is in charge of teams, it's like I said, it's going to be a really good, productive year. It's like your year last year was really hard. This year is really good. There's really nothing here, that's difficult. But it's sort of saying, come on, you sort of reached rock bottom, whether it's right now or whether it was last year. But showing as the recent past, and sometimes that lingers on a little bit into the now. But it will be left in the past very shortly. So when you reach rock bottom, you sort of. I just feel like when any issues come up that you feel like, oh, not this again, you're just going to go walk away. I'm going this direction. So, you're over it. You're changing it. You're not putting up with it. And so, as far as compared to last year, which it just feels like you're still a little bit exhausted from last year, give yourself a little bit of time. Hopefully, you're having a nice break in January before you get back to work. But, it's going to be a much easier year. It's going to be a much more peaceful year. And it's going to be a year when you can really connect into the things you love. And connecting into those higher vibrations as well, whether that's music, whether that's art, whether that's healing, whether that's spiritual subjects, but we're talking about vibrational energy that is uplifting and joyful. See, Leos like to have fun, they like to be open and honest, about who they are and where they're going, and they like to be positive. They don't do negative, they don't do downers, easy. Leo's here to shine, as we all are, but again, they've got that strong energy of the sun. So with that, what I'm trying to say here is, it's like you're going to open up a bit more emotionally, where you can actually feel like it's easier to express your emotions. It's almost like if any emotions have been hard to express, or contained any feelings of guilt or concern around any areas of guilt. I don't know quite why that's coming up, but it's like that's all shifting away. So what I'm trying to say here is Leos are, for this year, they're very compassionate signs anyway, but they're going to be very open-hearted and compassionately taking the action and helping others. Any that, are like in areas where they like, so like nurses, or where you need to have good energy to uplift others. You're going to do really well this year, because this is where you can really utilize that skill, and that can work in any skill, in any type of career as well, with regards to just being there as a light, lifting up, and sort of raising the vibration just through being in that environment. Any Leo looking for love? This, again, love seems to be just popping out of the blue. There's sort of a bit that will pop out of the blue. Travel will come up, can come up sort of spontaneously. But like I said, it seems to be more work related, but also and business, but in expansion with business, but also love looks like it can just come up spontaneously as well. And that's why I'm describing like Leo being able to expand the heart this year and to really express their true selves. And for those that have been in relationships where they haven't been able to really truly express themselves, or they feel like they have been misunderstood, there's going to be like a bit of a shift where there's going to be a much deeper and better understanding, and it's going to be a very healing time, especially when we, with any misunderstandings or with any feelings of expectations that other people have had on Leo or vice versa. It's like all those areas are being cleared. It's like Leo can take on the guilt and feel like they're not doing something right if somebody gives them a hard time. I mean, we all can, but it's like, again, that's what I'm saying. Don't take it all personally. This is not about you. This is about that person. And it's just feel like what's going to heal a lot of situations from the past and from last year is going to be about, just being open to receiving, being open to sharing, and, connecting in at that really strong heart level. Really good cards here, Leo. It's a year for freedom, meaning more freedom in your situations, especially in your work situation. More love felt in your life, even in existing relationships where there's been certain differences that can now be resolved, where you find more common ground, and major growth for career. So it looks fantastic. Thanks. Bye.